Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Maguilaj. I'm here with my colleague Inês. We are the organizers of these events. Welcome to one more R&D session powered by EDP New. EDP New, for those who don't know us, is the Research and Development Center of the EDP Group, and we work basically with European projects. We are financed by the European Commission to test solutions to help decarbonize the energy sector. And we start these initiatives of the R&D sessions back in 2020, so we are already in the fourth year of these sessions. And our goal with these sessions is to get together experts to discuss solutions to transform the energy sector and to showcase what we are implementing in our projects.
Hi, everyone. So just to add that this is our fourth R&D session, so a great milestone for EDP New and a great stage also to share the knowledge on the R&D topic. Please note that these webinars are recorded and the previous sessions are available on our website. You just need to read the QR code on this slide and you will be able to watch them. Also, this session will be available on our website and YouTube channels in a couple of days. For today's webinar, we want to encourage you all to use our Q&A chat to ask your questions to our guest speakers. And at the end of the session, we will have time for a Q&A moment where the speakers will be able to answer you. With no further delays, we welcome you all to this event and wish you all a great session, but not without first introducing you our moderator, Gloria Gonçalves. So Gloria is a chemical engineer from Faculty of Engineering of the University of Porto. And in the last 40 years, she worked on hydrogen and natural gas blending projects, focusing on the development and management of network capacity models and their assets for digitalization and decarbonization in the distribution market. Since arriving to EDP New, Gloria has been working on projects related to cost-effective hydrogen transportation paths and long-term storage solutions such as compressed air. So now, Gloria, the floor is yours, and thank you all.
Well, thank you so much. So we'll now be starting for today's topic, that is exploring the future of energy storage, insights from research, industry, and also DSO/producer, that it's EDP. We have a 10-minute presentation for each of the three topics, and then we will end with a Q&A. We will start with INESC TEC, so we will provide a cutting-edge research perspective in offering insights into the future trends and challenges in storage solutions. And following this, we have EDP New that will offer an overview of our company's approach to storage and showing some of our latest research projects and investment strategies. And then the session will end with a commercial perspective presented by Sunergy. We'll focus on the specific storage products, illustrating practical applications and benefits. So let's dive into how energy storage systems can help to make grids more resilient, reliable, and flexible. First, I will introduce our first guest speaker, so Clara Gouveia. Clara holds a master's degree from 2008 and a PhD 2015 in electrical and computer engineering from the Faculty Engineering of the University of Porto. She is currently a member of INESC TEC's Board of Directors, and her work is dedicated to the specification, development, and validation of energy management solutions, taking into account the integration of distributed resources, as well as solutions for the digitalization of distribution network. So please, Clara, I welcome you, and you can share now your presentation. Thank you.
Okay, so I think you are seeing the slides. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Gloria, for the presentation and for the invitation to be here today so that we can present our work in this topic. Today I will talk a bit about our latest work on stationary energy storage for flexible energy systems, also focusing on microgrids. But before I start, I would like just to have here a brief introduction of what is INESC TEC. So we are a Portuguese research and technology institute working for more than 35 years on bridging the gap between academia and industry. And we focus our work in these 4 main areas, from network intelligence systems, power and energy, industrial and systems engineering, and computer science. Today, I will be presenting a part of our work in the Center for Power and Energy Systems, where we also, besides working from R&D to technology transfer and consultancy, we work here also with the main players of the energy system, from the utility to the grid users. So, going now for the topic today, I would like to start for a brief introduction of the way we have been approaching the integration of distributed energy storage, working in their control and management together with distributed generation and other distributed energy resources, such as electrical vehicles and demand response, to improve the self-consumption, but also the resilience of communities, distribution networks, and buildings. Focusing today a bit more on how the energy storage integrates within the microgrid for the industrial application. I will also like to share here a bit our path in terms of what has been our development in microgrids and distributed energy storage and resources management. So we have started in the beginning with the microgrids project in 2003, where we started developing models and control strategies, and more recently, we have been focusing on transfer this knowledge to the laboratory and testing all these control strategies in the laboratory, and finally to the real demos and to some technology transfer. And as you see here in the bottom of the slides, I have here some of those projects started from research to these innovation projects together with national and international companies. Today, I will talk of our latest project, which is an Horizon Europe project, Sunergy, that is focused on the integration of different energy storage technologies to support the decarbonization of energy systems. And as a summary, you can see here in these slides the different technologies that are being considered in this project, from ultracapacitors and flywheels to lithium flow-based batteries, and also thermal heat storage, as I will present, to a bit more long-term storage with hydrogen and also geothermal storage. Today, my presentation and our work is mainly focused on these 3 technologies, so lithium-ion batteries, flow-based batteries, and thermal heat storage. And just to present also the concept of the project, we are focusing on allowing the seamless integration of these different technologies in different demos based on a single middleware, which we call the Sunergy middleware, where we are able to exchange data between these different applications, but also in the end allow external users to have access to some of these data. Our work is mainly focused on the optimal industrial microgrids planning and operation, and we are working together with Portuguese company Capwatt and also FILP, the Faculty of Engineering, to demonstrate energy management technologies and thermal heat storage for Capwatt pilots microgrids, industrial microgrids. So our main focus in this project is the development of energy storage management system, and we have been developing this platform for different use cases where energy storage is critical in terms of application, from hybrid parks to microgrids and to energy communities. And again, here the management of the energy storage can have benefits from the arbitrage to the minimization of the deviations to the market, but we are also exploring the possibility of storage to be management to provide different services and operate with different objectives. Again, if we look here at the grid scale, more focused on the grid scale storage, if we look at what is the evolution of the day-ahead market price, we can see and compare it with grid ancillary services, namely the possibility of providing secondary reserve, and comparing the resulting prices, we can see that energy storage systems can benefit from the participation on these different markets. And so we are exploring and developing the tools that will allow the energy storage operator to go to the market and offer the capacity to provide these multiple services. On the other hand, energy storage compared to conventional generation have specific characteristics. So it has a specific response in terms of its behavior when charging and discharging. We need to include efficiency, and in the case of the lithium-ion batteries, degradation is also an important issue. And so we have been trying to develop these tools, but including these specific characteristics of the lithium-ion batteries, but doing in a way that we can still run the tool in real time or close to real time, so that it can operate in an intraday perspective. In terms of the degradation, it's important to model the way that the battery is operated and the impact that this has on the degradation of the battery. And in this case, so we are trying to estimate the cost of the degradation so that we can penalize the way the battery is operated to try to minimize the degradation. But in the other hand, we don't want to limit too much the operation of the battery that in the end is installed to participate in the market and to charge and discharge. So this balance between these two objectives is something that we are working on and developing the strategy to include it in the tool. On the other hand, it's important for us and for stationary applications in general. We believe that the road is also for hybridization and for exploiting the different technologies and the characteristics of different technologies. And in this case, for the Synogen's project, we are exploiting the management also of redox flow batteries, in this case, vanadium redox flow batteries, and how they also behave when operating for these different objectives. So for arbitrage and for grid ancillary services, and also enabling the joint operation of these different technologies, from lithium batteries to redox flow batteries. But again, here we are trying again to model correctly the efficiency of these batteries, and studying and going deeper on the way these batteries operate, we see that the efficiency and the maximum and minimum power that is available also depends on the way the battery is operated. And so again, we are trying to integrate this on the energy management tools in a way that we allow them to operate again in an efficient way. So this is one of the challenges. In terms of industrial decarbonization, the Capwatt microgrid provides both electric and thermal loads, and for industry, decarbonizing the provision of heat is also very, very relevant. In this case, together with PHILP, we are including this thermal energy storage in an innovative technology that is being developed within the project to try to minimize the consumption of gas and see if it's possible to transfer some of this heat in medium term. So it's not only for short term, but also for medium term storage. And now INESC here is trying to combine the management of the electrical energy storage and generation and of this thermal energy storage system. And in the case of Capwatt, we also have a combined heat and power generation. And so we are developing also the possibility of a co-optimization of these two systems. In the end, this is a multi-energy system. And now we are operationalizing all of this. So we are building this platform within the project that will integrate forecasting service for renewable energy generation, potentially also for loads. And we have our applications for the energy management running on our side and sharing this information with CapWatt operator on a day-ahead basis in terms of demonstration. It could also run again in real time, sharing this information with the operator that then is responsible for sharing the set points with the systems installed in the pilots. So this data is transferred through the middleware. It also means that we can share some of the KPIs of the pilots through this middleware also to external users of the project. So looking ahead a bit into the future and summarizing what has been our research and innovation perspective. So we continue to work on the microgrids development, now a bit more focused on the energy management strategies, but looking at combining different technologies from energy storage to generation and also to flexible loads, combining and looking at the system, particularly for industry, in a multi-energy perspective, combining thermal and electrical energy storage, but also trying to maximize the use of these systems and the profit, allowing them to provide multiple services, even to multiple users. So I've talked about grid ancillary services, but I could also talk about flexibility provision for the distribution network, or even for maximizing the self-consumption of an energy community. So this is still valid. And in the end, also looking at the topology of the microgrid and exploring these hybrid AC/DC topologies that can, again, maximize the efficiency of these systems. And so, again, this has been our work. Thank you, Gloria. Waiting for your questions.
So thank you so much, Clara. We will have the opportunity to have the questions in the chat, and we'll have a dedicated time in the end for that. Yeah, regarding the energy storage system, yes, it's not planning and managing. We need to have the technologies, but also the different types of data exchanges and communications that have similar integration, different users. So thank you for showing the energy management tools for grids and also microgrids. We now will go forward with our next guests. So António Sousa. Hello, António, thank you. Graduating at the top of his class in mechanical engineering from Nova University, António Sousa specialized in the energy sector. He spent 2 years in the oil and gas industry as a project engineer at Technip FMC, and currently is dedicated to sustainable energy solutions at EDP New, working on projects related to port decarbonization through digitalization and innovative storage technologies with a focus on electrochemical storage. His work spans both technical aspects and integration of these technologies into future electricity markets to enhance system flexibility and profitability. Please, António, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Gloria. I will share my screen now. Can you all see it?
Yes.
Nice. So good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for the introduction, Gloria. So as we are an R&D center, we share, of course, some of the views that academia has on storage. But as we are also an utility, we have to tailor our approach to its strategy, and we evaluate not only the technical performance of the technologies, but also their economic viability and if they are profitable in the end for us. So today I will share with you how EDP views storage in general, and also specifically from the perspective of our R&D branch, EDP New, which I'm a part of. and what are the projects that we are currently working on, and what are the major ones that we worked in the past as well. So, as many of you know, EDP is at the forefront of the energy sector's decarbonization, and we strive to reach this goal of net zero by 2040. And we've set ambitious targets along the way. So first, we aim to be coal-free by 2025, and for that, we requested authorization to close the remaining coal-fired power plants. We also aim to achieve 100% renewable by 2030, and deploying over 50 gigawatt of renewables between 2021 and 2030 to reach ultimately the net zero by 2040. And we invest significantly in this matter. So as you know, deploying such a large volume of renewables in the grid with their inherent intermittency presents challenges to us, including, for example, high levels of curtailment, which is a significant issue for EDP now and in the future. And there's different ways to tackle this. Of course, we can look at it from the generation side, but we can also look at it from the demand side. Which one is better is another discussion. Probably the perfect solution stands in the middle. Nevertheless, one effective solution to do it is through the deployment of storage and its various applications. So as I said, as an utility, we also view storage not only as a means to manage this supply-demand balance and reduce curtailed energy, but we look at it from a revenue stream point of view. So these include, for example, energy arbitrage, ancillary services, capacity markets, other services to the TSO as well. However, we find that regulation is still a big bottleneck in terms of access to certain markets for different types of storage in specific regions. For example, for BESS to participate in ancillary services in Iberia, the scenario is completely different from the UK. The UK, for example, is like 2-3 years ahead of us in terms of the maturity of their electricity market. As there are several on a perfect market, as there are several revenue streams possible for storage, there are also different technologies that we can use and we can deploy. So we categorize them in 5 different ways. So we have thermal energy, we have chemical energy, where we include chemical storage, where we include, for example, hydrogen, ammonia, electrical, where we include capacitors and supercapacitors, electrochemical storage, sealed batteries, and as Clara said, flow batteries as well. And in mechanical, where we include compressed air and another technology which EDP has a long history with, so pumped hydro. And this pumped hydro gets me to the next slide, which continues to be a super valuable asset for us and provides us with a strong cash flow and a long-term large-scale storage and flexibility as well. So to put some numbers to it, our long-term concessions account already for more than 7 gigawatt of hydro capacity split between Iberia and Brazil, so around 5.5 in Iberia and 2 in Brazil, and 2.4 gigawatt of pumping capacity already, with more than 2 terawatt hour per year of pumped volume. And we try to lever these spreads in the market, so capturing peak and off-peak, the difference between peak and off-peak prices. But we are not only confined to these established technologies. We always try to innovate, exploring different innovative solutions, but also trying to push a bit forward already established ones, trying to think of different applications, different types of hybridizations. One example of it is our collaboration with Rondo Energy. So Rondo Heat Batteries started, our collaboration started in 2023, and enables these large heat-intensive industries to utilize renewable energy for heat generation. So the ultimate goal is to develop around 400 megawatt of wind and solar parks decentralized to feed 2 gigawatt hour of heat batteries. On the other side, so leveraging different hybridizations, we worked on co-locating this 1 megawatt, 2 megawatt hour BESS with a 5 megawatt floating PV in Alqueva. And all these technologies are using now one single point to the existing grid, and by doing that, promoting asset optimization and efficiency while also reducing this environmental impact. Moreover, we are also implementing this project, 50 megawatt with 2 hours standalone BESS in the UK. It is actually the first standalone project for EDPR in Europe, so it's in the UK. And it is particularly interesting, these deployments. So as we are seeing now more volatility in the electricity markets, with the high numbers, for example, in Portugal and Spain, with a high number of hours at zero cost, which can be a good signal for the profitability of BESS in the upcoming years. And when we look at the profiles, we can see also some days that have two peaks, so it's another way to try and research more on technologies, not only on lithium-ion, but also technologies who are capable to withstand two cycles per day, for example. So for this strategy to deploy this level of renewables, we spread it across several areas: hybridization, repowering, storage, and hydrogen. So when we talk about hybridization, is this thinking process of leveraging existing grid connections and try to innovate by different types of hybridization. In terms of repowering, we are looking at increasing our installed capacity, but also our park's longevity, and particularly on storage. It's the main focus of the presentation. We aim to achieve around 500 megawatt, primarily to co-located assets, but also with a small portion consisting of standalone systems, such as the recent one, as I mentioned, for EDPR. Just to say that EDPR, for example, is nearly 200 megawatt of contracted storage in North America, but also in Asia Pacific region. So, but while our main focus is still North America, we are exploring other markets, trying to leverage EDP's presence. Not only other markets, but also assessing different technologies with different characteristics. On hydrogen, as another way of storing energy, we are committed also to advancing it, and we have plans to deploy 1.5 gigawatt of installed capacity by 2030. And this effort will help us gain a competitive advantage through these transition projects in Iberia, so the conversion of thermoelectric power plants on non-polluting hubs. And on EDP New, we are actually working with a project doing exact that. So going now specifically into our R&D center, EDP New, so we have a pretty great track record. So we have around 55 people in the team with more than 12 PhDs. Around 45 ongoing R&D projects, more than 10 consultancy ones. So not all of them about storage. Of course, we have several areas within our center, but some of them, of course, are around storage. And the combining of these stats makes us also actually the first company, the number one company in Portugal in EU funding, both in H2020 and Horizon Europe programs. So now our projects within EDP New. So on our portfolio, I will highlight first this one on the left, X-Flex Hydro, which looks at a more traditional way of storing energy, so pumped hydro. And it was actually the highest budget hydro project ever sponsored by the European Commission. And we worked together with 18 other partners, splitting from universities, tech providers, utilities, and institutes. And this project actually allowed for the extension of the operating range of the plant. And with that, we were able to increase the returns from ancillary services provision to the grid. So in the middle, you have two of our most recent ones. So they are both focused on less mature and more innovative technologies, so more interesting ones, if you could say it that way. So on the upper side, and R4NRG addresses this need for new long-term energy storage solutions and aims to develop this sustainable compressed air storage prototype in a system that allows for more than 10 hours storage and just fits into a 40-feet container. This project started in January 2024, is coordinated by Zabala, and we in EDP New will basically conduct market and scalability analysis. And on our laboratories in LabLec, we'll actually conduct testing and validation processes for this type of technology. So it's pretty interesting, this one. And on the lower side, we have ScoopTech that looks into a different type of storage, so thermal storage, and looks into a power-to-E2 power solution and uses supercritical CO2 as a working fluid and also guarantees long durations and large-scale storage. So basically here, just to explain, it might not be so conventional as, for example, an hydropower plant way of working. So it converts surplus electricity from renewables into thermal energy, and then it can be stored in a more compact way due to the CO2 characteristics, and it is converted back to electricity when needed. As you might tell already, one of the issues of this technology is also the efficiency in the conversions, but that is actually one of the topics that the project tends to answer. And one of the objectives of the project is also to convert traditional CCGT plants into more flexible energy plants, which is directly related to our role in EDP New, as we are studying the replication feasibility of the Ribatejo CCGT power plant. Lastly, another project we are involved in is Lolabat, but I will not get into much detail on this one, as the next speaker can talk a bit more on it. Just to finalize, just to say that we at EDP New, we are selective on our projects, and we try to seek innovation both through advancing already established and mature technologies, pushing one step further always, but we also look at innovative technologies and business models, always making sure that we're aligned with EDP strategy. So thank you for listening, and yeah, that was it. Back to you, Gloria.
Thank you so much, Antonio, for showing our project's portfolio in EDP. Yeah, we are a company with a whole value chain in electricity, so it's added value for us, this knowledge in energy storage system. So for now, and the last, well, welcome Shadi Mirhashemi, please. Is the R&D Deputy Manager at Sunergy, with a research background in electrochemistry and material science. She has joined Sunergy 6 years ago to contribute to the development of zinc-based batteries. Since then, she has participated to construction and management of several European projects on zinc batteries, including H2020 Lolabat, that previously António Sousa mentioned, which is coming to end this year with notable achievements. Please, Shadi, thank you. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Gloria. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So hello, everyone. And again, thank you to EDP for inviting us to this R&D session. During the next few minutes, I will try to walk you through the activities of Sunergy in the domain of zinc batteries for stationary applications. But before jumping into that, I would give you a brief introduction on the subject. As already mentioned by Antonio, using renewables has its own challenges, specifically intermittency and fluctuation. And one of the best solutions to overcome these shortcomings is to couple renewables with batteries. The main technology used today for this is a lithium ion, which is used at 93%, which is for the moment the best solution for mobility applications, but not the best or the optimal one for stationary applications. This is mainly due to two reasons. First is that The chemistry has some safety issues that for stationary applications cannot be ignored because we use big batteries in these applications. And in case of thermal runaway and explosion, the consequences for environment and for investment are grave. And the second reason, as you may all know about, is that for the moment there is an extremely high pressure on demand of lithium for using lithium in our electric cars, especially for 2035 in Europe. Another technology by far after lithium ion is lead acid, which is only used as 3%. You may all know lead acid. The problem with the lead acid is the high toxicity of lead, and that is why they are trying in Europe to put it out of our ecosystem little by little. So this brings us to zinc batteries. Zinc is a very interesting anode material because it has a high theoretical specific capacity and to electron exchange. Apart from this, it is highly abundant, low environmental impact, it is not toxic, and it has an inherent high safety because it is usually coupled with an aqueous electrolyte, which is safe. Sunergy is an SME focused on development of highly performant zinc electrodes, and as it can be coupled with several cathode materials, Sunergy is focused on prototyping of different several cell chemistries that you can see here. And in the middle, you can see the TRL of each chemistry on which Sunergy is focused. And on the right, the names of recent European or French projects in which Sunergy has been involved for each of these technologies. So you can see here, for example, we have a hybrid redox flow zinc technology. We have air zinc, which is a very interesting technology, but also difficult. We have alkaline zinc manganese oxide, and finally nickel zinc, which has the highest TRL for Sunergy and is the most mature technology. So based on this, nickel zinc, we can say that it is very promising for stationary applications. First of all, due to its outstanding safety, its robustness and big temperature window and high recyclability. At the same time, it is cost competitive. The cycle life is quite nice. We are almost at 4,000 cycles at a full DOD and 1C rate. And in terms of energy, we are around 50 to 90 watt hour per kilograms and 80 to 200 watt hours per liter. Where is nickel zinc standing compared to other battery technologies in the market like lithium, LFP, sodium ion, and lead acid? So you can see here that this is a very estimative kind of graph, but you can see here nickel zinc in green. And in terms of specific energy, it has a lower energy compared to sodium ion or lithium ion. But I should insist that specific energy is not really an important metric for stationary applications because weight is not important in these applications as we don't move the batteries. The important metrics are safety, cycle life, and cost, and nickel zinc excels at all of these metrics. And in addition to that, it really has a high recycling potential. So Sunergy's nickel zinc has been developed during the last 3 years in Lolabat project that Antonio mentioned. This is a Horizon 2020 project with 17 partners from 7 different European countries. And as you can see here, partners are present in almost all segments of battery value chain, from raw active materials, cells, battery pack construction, recycling, and valorization services. In terms of key KPIs, key performance indicators such as cycle life and cost, the achievements have been notable in Lolabat. For cycle life, we have increased more than 90%. The cyclability almost as 4,000 cycles, as I mentioned. And for cost, 30% reduction in cost, reaching almost at 5.5 cents per kilowatt hour per cycle, which is very close to the objective defined by the European Union for 2030. A major aspect of nickel zinc in Lolabat has been upscaling. So in terms of capacity, we have been able to successfully upscale the cells from 8 ampere hours to 500 ampere hours. And in terms of energy, we have constructed battery packs of 7.5 kilowatt hours. And so the main challenge for the moment in the consortium and stakeholders is to define suitable SOX algorithms to make best use of the cells in the battery pack. The safety has been demonstrated in Lolabat with ZSW partner. Here you can see the care for a nail penetration test. This is equivalent to a kind of internal short circuit test. It has been performed on a 100 ampere hour cell. You can see that after 7 hours of no visible modification, we have a slow energy release and temperature increase to almost 60 degrees. But it is destructive, but there is no fire and no explosion. You can see the photos here. And we have also realized an external short circuit test at cell level and module level, cell on the left and module on the right. So it is again a 100 ampere hour cell. At cell level, the test has not been destructive, and after the test, the cell has cycled with the same performance. But at module level, of course, the cell has been destructive. We have a current release of more than 1000 amperes and temperature increase to 120 degrees, but nothing more than that. No fire, no explosion, nothing. So the battery packs that I mentioned in Lolabat are being tested now this year in 4 different use cases and 1 feasibility study in stationary applications. All the first one realized by Supergrid Institute in France uses nickel zinc for hybridization of a hydraulic power plant, and particularly nickel zinc is used to extend the operating range of a pumped storage system. The second use case realized by EDP, as also mentioned by Antonio, uses nickel zinc to check it for load leveling at electric vehicle charging stations, and also for ancillary services such as voltage regulation and congestion management in smart grid networks. University of Genova is testing nickel zinc in 2 different use cases. Number 3 is energy balancing in smart tertiary buildings. Nickel zinc will be in synergy with other systems such as a solar panel or thermal storage and mechanical storage, and also it will be checked for ancillary services. In another use case, in a remote area, nickel zinc will be used as a kind of uninterrupted power supply to help a kind of sensor, or in this case, for example, in seismic stations, to supply the measurement apparatus. It can be charged by a solar panel, or in this case, they charge it by a Tesla turbine. The feasibility study, which is the last case, uses nickel zinc in a copper production plant, KME, to check how they can use this battery to increase the optimization of the consumption profile and to decrease the electricity cost. And recycling, which, as I said, is a major advantage of this system, is also studied in Lolabat. This battery uses anode and cathode that come from battery families that already have a well-established recycling infrastructures and high efficiency. For example, in the case of nickel, we have alkaline peels, and in the case of nickel, we have nickel cad and nickel metal hydride batteries. So, of course, there's no reason that nickel zinc does not make use of these recycling infrastructures. And also, you should note that using an aqueous electrolyte makes recycling safe, easy, and economical. In Lolabat, Accurec has tested the recycling of nickel zinc. They have used a kind of hydrometallurgical process which has a lower carbon footprint, up to 40%. And the recycling efficiency achieved is more than 60% with a high metal recovery for nickel and zinc, more than 70%. But we want to go beyond this, and for 2028, we would like to increase further the recycling efficiency and metal recovery, but most importantly, obtain battery-grade nickel to close the loop and assure the cost competitiveness of the system. The market is a stationary and bulk. You have got it. It is a huge market. The CAGR is 25%. For 2032, the estimation is around $360 billion for all kind of base. If we take 10% of this for nickel zinc, we have a big market in the world, and in Europe, it is not negligible, and it is an opportunity to be seized. So what's the next step for Sunergy? Sunergy would like in the coming years from 2025 to 27 to establish a kind of a pilot line. This pilot line will enable Sunergy to provide people who are interested with enough batteries to test it. Sunergy wants to increase the TRL and start certification and homologation and eventual licensing in Europe. Then the next phase until 2032 will be a large manufacturing phase and a market entry. And of course, for both of these steps, Sunergy is trying to do some fundraising. So if you have any question about nickel zinc, about Lolabat or Sunergy, here are some links that you might find useful. Meanwhile, I will be more than happy to answer any question. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Shadi, and thank you super for your efforts, because it was right on point. We now have 20 minutes for a Q&A, and I saw already that we have some questions in the chat. In the meantime, you can write questions for Shadi, since it's the newest presentation. But for now, we'll be starting with a question to Clara. So it's from João Dias. I have to say the last name because we have a lot of Joãos in the company. So it's from João Dias. And if you have, do you have any results? Basically, the main result from the pilots in Capwatt and the biggest lesson learned that you can share for the system so far.
So unfortunately, we don't have yet the results, because demonstration just starts next year. But regarding the preliminary results that we have, for example, for the participation of the battery in the ancillary services and provision also of arbitrage, it's clear the benefit of this multi-service provision, and but of course this requires really the management of the energy storage, both in the intraday for planning, in the day ahead, for planning, and also in the intraday, because you need to compensate for what you are providing, for example, in terms of reserve. And if we talk, for example, in the participation of flexibility, also you will need to compensate in case you are activated. So in terms of the pilot itself, of course, when you are talking about integrating energy storage, the importance of the local controller of the energy storage system is also critical. So to allow you to remotely control the system, to program the charging and discharging, and Capwatt already has a kind of control center for managing their assets in the pilot and also external assets. But if we wanted to build this entirely integrated system, this means also adapting the existing supervisory systems, SCADA, and also communication to integrate the energy storage.
Okay, thank you so much. And also following up on what you just mentioned, like this is a question asked from Nuno Mateus, and from planning and managing the energy storage systems, what factor do you consider most crucial? It's smart storage, smart generation, smart grids, or smart loads? which is the...
To be honest, energy storage is a part of the solution. So we cannot look at energy storage by itself. We want to integrate energy storage so that we can better manage the variability associated to the renewable energy, together with the grid needs and with the expected load. So in the end, when we talk about storage, we should think of this integrated system, and in the end, all things need to be smart and need to be controlled. And this is a challenge, and I've talked a bit more on grid scale storage, but if we think on these small scale self-consumption units, the problem becomes really, really complex, and being able to integrate all these different technologies is really, really challenging.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll switch for Antonio, I think, to questions regarding, we'll have a mix of environmental and security questions coming from Anna and also Carolina. Basically, we have here a question about what is your stance, Stan, when it comes to environmental concerns, so environmental concerns of lithium batteries, and also regarding news that was in Portugal regarding a fire in a storage house. If you think that, do you believe the public opinion regarding the use of batteries in their homes, or will be changing, or still remaining favorable in their homes and companies? So regarding the environmental and the security of the technology itself. And also, Shadi, if you want to participate regarding this topic in batteries, you can also chip in.
Yeah, maybe I can go. Yeah, thank you for the question. So with lithium ion, we know that there is a high demand for lithium, and there are a lot of issues with, for example, recyclability and also second use of the batteries. But I think I like to think that this is also one of the major influencers for the development of other technologies in terms environmentally. But one other thing is we need to also be careful on the LCA assessments that we do on other technologies, because, for example, even though we are using materials that are less polluting than lithium, for example, they, in the end, when we consider all the production aspects of that other technology, it can have or not similar environmental impacts. Nevertheless, I think it's something that we have to tackle, but lithium ion, continues to be the main technology for batteries, even though there are clear environmental impacts. So I think that's it for the environmental part. Regarding the safety one, there's been a lot of developments that we are seeing in terms of safety for lithium ion technologies. Of course, LFP is way more safe than NMC chemistries. Nevertheless, and one thing that I wanted to say on our projects, there's also not this technology part, but also a pretty strong social part. So one of the components of our projects is to work on this social acceptance, because I think one of the main issues is people not knowing fully the technologies, because there are risks everywhere with every technologies. It's basically the way that we can manage them. But there are also technologies, other ones that are way more safe than lithium ion. So I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. We will now have a question for Shadi also. It's coming from Rodrigo. So what impact and growth is expected for distributed or self-consumption storage and its potential in supporting the grid?
Well, I don't know if this is mostly a question for Antonio, because when I mentioned the distribution grid, it was mostly the use case of EDP. I think they have recognized or they are testing nickel zinc for this use case. I hope that the impact will be good. But in Lolabat, they are checking it for ancillary services. I think, especially in a smart distribution grid, the user itself is concerned. So I think it really depends on the use case. Maybe Antonio wants to answer better the question.
Mm-hmm.
It's Gloria, it's this one
It's
about
the impact and growth that is expected for the distributed or self-consumption storage and the potential and supporting the grid, the DSO, such as also the EDP.
I think this type of storage used in I don't know if here the question was related to nickel zinc specifically or other technologies as well, but doing these services supporting the grid is a great way to tackle basically all the functions that a storage can have in the grid. So the grid management, the backup power, and all those potentials. So I think they will have a big impact. Yeah.
Gloria, if you allow me to add something.
Please.
So if we talk about self-consumption, we can be talking of different scales of energy storage, from self-consumption to industry to services, or even to the end user. And in the end, this by itself as self-consumption, it provides benefits to the grid and to the system. We have conducted these studies and we have shown that this can actually postpone some investments in the grid and reduce the risk of congestion related with hours where you have a large integration of renewable energy in the system. On the other hand, in order to allow them to support the grid and thinking a bit on flexibility markets, we need to allow them to aggregate and to be able to monitor them and to remotely control and allow the aggregator to collect data so it can control these small scale energy storage units, and there the issues of interoperability and is also foreseen from the Commission. So future batteries and BMS need to allow this remote monitoring and to share this information on the batteries.
Okay, thank you so much for, yes, this question was great. Had a participation of all of our three guests. We have now a little, less than 2 minutes till the end of the session. I will ask now to Shadi specifically, because has questions here regarding the technology itself. So if there's any progress in the commercial use of saltwater batteries, if you have knowledge of, and do you think what are the main barriers of the commercialization of the next generation zinc batteries, and what are your lessons or how to overcome them?
Sorry, can you repeat the second question, please? What are the next?
Yes, the first one was related to saltwater batteries, and the second one, it's the main barriers on the commercialization parts of the market for the next generation zinc batteries.
Yes, so maybe I will first answer the second question concerning zinc batteries. There are some commercialization already. Sunergy is making prototypes. We have not commercialized, and there are some commercialization, especially in USA and China, nickel zinc and zinc manganese oxide alkaline system, and some other zinc batteries, but they have just started. They are defining market. It's not. There are several, and they are using, for example, in USA and China. They have started with different markets, such as, for example, intelligent transportation system in uninterrupted power supply for this, or in data centers. We are targeting mostly stationary market, which is huge. So for us, the barriers will be, First of all, we have to make the product, so we need fundraising, and also we think that we should target a big production in the coming years very fast in order to be cost competitive, because now cost is important, especially compared to technologies that are already in the market that have profited from cost reduction due to production volume. So the barrier will be to convince the users to embrace this new technology, maybe initially at not a very, very, very cheap cost, but it will decrease. We hope that it will decrease fastly. And also, of course, like always, fundraising will be something important to consider. For saltwater battery, I don't know it very well. I don't think that I know that it is being considered and under research, but I am not sure if it is commercialized or if it has a high TRL.
So thank you so much. We are closing now the Q&A. We know that we have some questions to be answered, but we don't have time for all of them, but we can answer one by one on the chat. Yeah, for increasing the maturity or decreasing the costs, I think this is important to have this type of conversations and participation of this between different stakeholders that can drive the progress in energy storage. We have here industry and academic, and also the view from a DSO. So thank you for your engagement, that truly added value to our discussion today. I will now pass it to Inês and Maggie to close our session. It was a pleasure to be with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Claudia, and thank you so much for all the speakers. We have just reached the end of our session, and I want to thank everyone for attending. It was really engaging with a lot of questions and answers. And we will return with the next session after summer vacation. So let me ask you a good day, a good week, and see you in the next one.